Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to episode of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, episode number 64 today for the British Grand Prix in Season 4. If you guys did miss the previous one uploaded 2 days ago, then be sure to go check that one out, because that may have been the craziest race we've ever had on this game. It was a 40-minute episode because there was so much action, 4 safety cars around the very small Red Bull ring, and another different winner. So we've had 7 different winners in the first 7 races of this season, I believe. So that is just bonkers to me. But with that, Jenson Button, our teammate on his return to Formula 1, has somehow kept the lead of the championship, doing just about enough to keep ahead right now of Max Verstappen. Is a very surprising second place, you know, because Verstappen's been, I don't know, he's been quite quiet since that win at Imola. He has picked up some really good results. You can clearly see there by the chart, but he's not really been at the forefront of the battles. He just kind of picked up the places when other people have tripped over one another. You know, we've been in many battles, and we've had to really fight for those, 2 consistent 6th places, and the 8th place we got before that. And then obviously everyone else has had some very up and down races, you know, Perez and Schumacher, the Red Bull guys getting their fair share of luck and, you know, getting, you know, performance out of the Red Bull, and then equally so unlucky as well with both having DNS and issues in different races. You've got, you know, Ferrari with their first win at Canada after having such a slow start to the season. Leclerc is actually still, you know, within reach of ourselves, really, if you look at it. So even though Leclerc and Ferrari have seemed to be pretty poor this season, they're still in the mix because everything's so close and no one is getting a string of, you know, podiums, let's say, or top 5 finishes. Jenson was getting that at the start of the season, but that's now changed as well, and his gap has been shortening, but he's still controlling this race, very much like a former world champion knows how to do, maybe. But we come to then the home GP of not only the team, myself, but also Button as well. Although I will say, back in the day when he was actually in the sport, Jenson never went well at Silverstone. It was always his bogey circuit, really. Never got any home luck. I'm hoping that will not be the case for him today, and for the team as well, of course, but we're going to see. But we've got a special Union Jack helmet design for this race weekend, kind of overlaid on top of my kind of base design we've had for this season's helmet. And we come through the last corner then on the soft compound tyre, Q1, just looking to get through into the second part qualifying in 1 lap, really, just to try and save the tyres, of course, for later. And we do so in P8, it's Jenson P7, so quite equalised on pace, it would seem, at the moment in the first part of qualifying. Obviously, Jenson got pole position last episode, so I think, you know, that showed that even though the race pace is maybe not, you know, it's kind of fell away a little bit. I don't know where, really, honestly, it's gone, as now our DRS fails in the middle of our flying lap, so we have no DRS for the back straight then. We use Leclerc, though, as a bit of a tow, so that Ferrari may have just helped us out with the long-range slipstream as we come through the last corner. Let's see, it's been a pretty good, clean lap, and it's going to be fastest of all. Perez then beats it, though, immediately, but still P2 with no DRS for the second half of the lap. I was going to say, the car clearly has 1 lap pace, because in the hands of Button, he's been, you know, still very good at qualifying, got pole last episode, but today is not his day, and he's knocked out in P11. I was going to say the race pace has been a bit iffy in the last 3 races, you know, compared to other people just, you know, gaining time in the race, whereas we've been kind of losing it from the qualifying pace. This time round, Jenson, I mean, I literally just said he never goes well at Silverstone. I don't know if this is like coding of his AI, because they know that from real life, but yeah, this was never a good circuit for him when he was in Formula 1, and it's not a good circuit for him on his return to Formula 1 virtually here in our My Team Career Mode. Button knocked out in Q2, P11, 1 second off the pace from Perez, 8/10 off us in second place there, ahead of Gasly, Norris, Verstappen, Tsunoda. Both AlphaTauris are through then, and both Mercedes cars are through, which is a bit surprising, and kind of even more of a bigger blow for Button to be knocked out by Hamilton, who we know in this career mode has been struggling ever since Season 2. Very much not the same Hamilton we know in real life. So Button, yeah, that's a big shame for him. He's really kind of let himself down, really, more more than anyone, but obviously for the team as well, it's a tight fight, you know. We can't afford to not have both cars in there. Right now, the only reason we're still comfortably leading the constructors is because both myself and Jenson have been near each other, scoring pretty decent double points every single time. But this one, it may be tougher for him because it's going to be hard to overtake around Silverstone. We now go on our second fly. The first was only good enough for P6 right now. We jump out of the way of Verstappen, who is on a flying lap himself, so he went a lot earlier for his second run. So Verstappen is coming through and goes fastest of all on pole position, but he does not return the favour to me as we dive down the inside, and he basically chops me off there. We don't lose too much time, to be honest, but Verstappen does not pay me the same favour I paid him by getting out of his way for the pole position lap. Can we snatch pole off him, though? Get revenge. Green second sector, purple in the last 5/10 gain there, but it's not enough. Oh my days, look how close that is. Are you kidding me? That is so close between myself and Verstappen, and even Gasly as well. That is ridiculous. But Verstappen puts the Mercedes back on the front row after a long while there, and Merc, I don't know, but they must have found something, or maybe Silverstone just suits the Mercedes car now finally, because Verstappen's looking mighty. Hamilton down in P8 though, so just showing the difference levels between Verstappen and Hamilton now in the same machinery in this career mode of ours. Gasly in third alongside Norris there. Perez P5. Schumacher was knocked down Q2. I actually didn't realize because Russell made it through. Along with Sainz, and Leclerc got knocked out as well. So actually there were quite a few big names that didn't make it through into the top 10 shootout. So it was actually a bit topsy-turvy then on qualifying day. But for us, smooth sailing. We've got the Union Jack on our helmet. We're on the front row. Let's hope we can go out there and have a great home Grand Prix. Let's go to the grid.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, and the owner driver alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Tsunoda, Bottas, Hamilton, Russell, and Carlos Sainz, Button, Ricciardo, Mick Schumacher, and Leclerc, Stroll, Joe, Esteban Ocon, and Callum Islet, Latifi, Lundgaard, Matsushita, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So no grid penalties to talk about, so we are indeed on the front row of the grid. Button is, unfortunately, that means in P11 still. No one was able to be, pushed down further behind, so he's going to have a bit of a tough race, I think. You know, it is difficult to overtake around here. Generally speaking as well, the My Team car actually doesn't go that well around Silverstone, so I'm surprised we've had such good pace here. But I don't know, I just felt like in such a groove in qualifying. Let's hope hopefully we take that through into this race. It's going to be interesting on the tyre wear. You know, generally is a one stop because the tyres, the tyres that we come with, the compound choice, is quite durable. But you never know. We've seen some topsy-turvy races so far this season with quite high tyre wear. So let's just find out in the race. But the first part of this race is all going to be about just a 1v1. Verstappen, potentially also Gasly and Norris, of course. You know, last race's race winner, Norris, being involved in that fight. We have to watch behind us as well as forwards. But as ever, it's going to be a close fight no matter what, as it has been this entire season with everyone. So let's go and see what we can do in our home race. As we go to 5 red lights here in Silverstone on the front row of the grid. Verstappen alongside us. 5 lights are out and we're underway. Verstappen a bit slow off the light. We've had a good launch there, but Gasly is there as well on the left-hand side into turn 1. All clean for us, but there's been a contact behind and Hamilton is round and spun into the gravel. It in his home race as well. Not a great start for Hamilton. The virtual safety car is out, and ooh, Verstappen brake checks us a little bit there. We almost hit the back of him under the virtual safety car. But we had to halt racing immediately as someone else got caught up in that, I think. But just kind of showing our grievances a little bit with Verstappen there, pulling alongside him because we nearly hit the back of him under that virtual. But let's have a look then. It was actually a really slow start for Perez in the Red Bull. And then Hamilton on the inside. Oh, just clips Bottas. Ironically, his old teammate clips Bottas in the Williams. And then this is who got caught up and why ultimately we have a virtual safety car, because Russell... Well, that's even more weird. And so Bottas takes out Hamilton, who takes out Russell. That's great. So that is why we had a virtual safety car then on lap 1. Really unfortunate timing for Russell and the Alpine, but only a virtual, so we can get going straight away on lap 1, waiting for that green. And there we go. Verstappen defends. We're going to have a look around the outside. Doesn't quite work. Switch it to the left and try and get a bit of a tighter cut in. But Verstappen's car, the Mercedes, really gripping up quite nicely through the final corners. And he maintains first place, but we're gaining, and we're just not close enough as we enter into Luffield. Then the right-hander coming up, we're like pretty much pushing Verstappen through that corner there, so we have some pace here. Remember, we were only, what was it, a few thousandths off Verstappen for pole position, so we have the pace today, and we have a good run here into Copse on the outside. Now we flick it left, and Verstappen holds his line on the inside in Copse and maintains the lead just about. He's doing so well at the moment here as we're pretty much pushing him through into Maggot and Beckett's, the home crowd cheering us on. You've got Lando as well in P3 as well, so two Brits attacking the Dutchman here today. Lando a little bit further back, but we're going to be close enough for a dive, maybe. Is it going to be into Stowe? Big dive down the inside there, but we've gone wide. Verstappen with the cut back, the switch back for him. He's on our outside. Oh no! We made contact with Verstappen, and the front right tire is off. His shit cleanly off, the front wings off. We're in the gravel trap, and Verstappen maintains the lead. Lando Norris now in P2. Gasly up to third place. We are out of our own home Grand Prix early on in this one. It's not been a great day for Brits. I mean, well, at least Brits, some of the Brits. Hamilton with a crash on lap 1. And there we are, parking up and we're retiring from the Grand Prix. That is it. That is our race over. But the race is not over for these chaps. Verstappen in P1 and Norris in a pretty decent McLaren now. We saw the race pace. He had an Austrian. He's going to go for the lead. Norris on the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren and Mercedes are fighting into Luffield. Bit of a squirm on the rear end from Lando on the outside. Verstappen maintains the track position. And not about now, the safety car is called out for that incident. So Verstappen and everyone slows down and they will all have to go to a crawl and sit behind Burt Mylander. So it's Verstappen, Norris, Gasly, Tsunoda, the two AlphaTauris, Perez, Bottas, Ricciardo up to P7, Schumacher, Sainz, Button now into P10, but like I said, Button not his favourite circuit from real life. Silverstone, bit of a bogey one, and as I alluded to, you know, we may have had some good pace, but in general the My Team car is actually quite slow around Silverstone with the drag and whatnot. So, you know, Button, he's going to struggle maybe. He looks like he's struggling in P10, not really making as many inroads as you would hope. But here we are then, lap number 6 on the restart. The sun has come out now at Silverstone, so maybe the weather was indicating what kind of day it was going to be for us, because it was all doom and gloom until we crashed, and now it's all sunny, and it's going to be a glorious and shiny day for someone as they look into the trophy for P1 later on the podium. Perez, P5, he's looking a bit pacey here, trying to drop Bottas in the Williams. Ricciardo's recovered well because he was knocked out in Q2, and I think he was down in P14, so he's jumped quite a few cars here in this race as Button continues just to sit behind Carlos Sainz. One man making a move though is Guan Yu Zhou. He's qualified pretty poorly, but we've seen the Williams car be such a good race car, and Guan Yu Zhou, just like an Austria, punching above his weight and trying to recover from a poor Saturday. You know, if the Chinese driver got his Saturday together, he could be getting, you know, probably podiums at this rate. We saw how good he was at the start of the season, but Bottas now has firmly taken a hold of being the team leader. But Guan Yu Zhou on the outside into Copse. Lovely move on Lance Stroll on lap 7, and he moves up the order forward into P12. Now we look back at Sergio Perez, like I said, looking punchy and looking to try and get into the middle of the sister team AlphaTauri. Perez on the inside at Stowe, easy does it on Tsunoda, up into P4, and he can start chasing after Gasly. I don't know what it is as well, but his demeanour, Perez, he looks like he wants it, and I think he could try and chase after even the top guys there of Norris and Verstappen. Just depends on if Gasly can hold him up or not. Meanwhile, speaking about the top guys, Norris in P2, lap 10, DRS available. Where's Verstappen going to go? Norris goes to the inside there, doesn't defend Verstappen, but he's on the outside for the next corner, so he'll try and have the inside line for Luffield there. The two are going side by side again, jockeying for position, and Norris just unable to get it as Verstappen remains ahead as they go down towards Copse. Will the McLaren have a run into Copse, I wonder? Into the inside? No, not quite. The Mercedes whole station, but things are oh so close. Norris practically pushing Verstappen through that corner, and behind you can see Perez is right on the back of Gasly, so Perez may get up into P3. Can Norris get up into P1 though, I wonder? DRS open for the second time in the lap. Verstappen a sitting duck. Norris goes the long way round at Stowe. Can he do it? No, Verstappen gets the elbows out there. This is brilliant racing for those two, and Norris is in for a pit stop. Gasly as well, so no, it's not damage. It's not damage. Norris, Gasly and Perez come in on purpose for an early pit stop. Verstappen stays out. The same with Tsunoda, Ricciardo and Schumacher. So interesting. So obviously, tyre wear is a factor around here. It is a one-stop, but the undercut, it is powerful around here. We've known that ourselves. So maybe Verstappen making a slight mistake here. You know, he's not got his teammate racing him and, you know, blocking the pit lane. So I don't know why Verstappen didn't come in along with Norris, as we now watch on Leclerc overtaking Button. So that's two Ferraris now ahead of Button, but Button makes contact with Leclerc, and Leclerc has broken Button's wing. As now there's a spin for Ilott. It's really not a great day in the office for British drivers, is it? We've had Hamilton crash on lap 1. I'm out of the race. Ilott spun. Button's had damage with Leclerc. The only Brit doing us proud right now is Lando Norris. P16 as it is, but because he's already made that one pit stop. Ilott brings out the safety car, this is actually, as things slow down. So everyone who just came into the pit lane, they may jump up the order quite a fair bit. Let's watch on where Verstappen is going to filter out. He is going to be ahead of Norris, but as well as that, Schumacher is ahead of Norris. Oh my god, Schumacher was down in like P8 or 7, and he's jumped himself to P2. What a finesse of the safety car and the pit stop window. So it's now Verstappen from Schumacher, Norris, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Perez, Tsunoda, Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, and Bottas, your top 10. Schumacher been the biggest winner. Leclerc as well. Leclerc was down in, behind Button, fighting him in P12. He's jumped up to P5 there. So some massive winners and some massive losers, I guess, from that. Is Sergio Perez in P6, I guess you could say. But Schumacher, what a winner, because he was, I think, P7 or 8, and now he's right there, half a second behind Verstappen. And if he's got any sort of pace similar to Perez, he may be able to tack into the left-hander. Oh, Verstappen's a bit wide, is he? Yes, he is. The Mercedes goes deep into the left-hander, into Luffield. Then maybe the brakes were cold for the Dutchman, of course. We've just come off a safety car, so maybe the Mercedes had not warmed up its brakes enough for its tyres, and Schumacher is right on the case here as we fly through Copse. That Red Bull is, I've said it with Perez, and same with the Schumacher, it's looking punchy. Like, I don't know what it is. It just looks like it's ready to dance around and get a move done for P1 maybe. Here goes Schumacher. No DRS, remember, on this first lap after the safety car, but he doesn't need it. He doesn't need the DRS because Schumacher goes the long way round. Schumacher v Verstappen, and Schumacher gets up into P1. Cuts across. What a fantastic natural overtake there from the German. What a beautiful move. He's loving life right now in the Red Bull car. Up into P1, and now Lando, well, immediately he looks like he's going to overtake Verstappen. I think Verstappen doesn't have the pace for P1 today. I think he's going to fall behind maybe even both McLarens, and then even Perez as well. I think Verstappen, if he's not careful, could fall all the way down to P6 due to his race pace, because it doesn't look like he's feeling very confident out there, because Lando's right on the back of him maybe, as Schumacher leads the way. Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh, it's all gone so wrong. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, the jeopardy, the drama of Formula 1. Schumacher can't get a break this season. It's his third DNF, his third DNF of this season. And this time, it's back-to-back DNFs. This time, it's no through fault of his own. It's his car. His car's let him down. He was taken out by Perez early doors, lap 1 at Austria. And this time, just as he made maybe the move of the race for the lead on the outside of Stowe without DRS, he's met with engine failure. Wow, this sport is cruel. This sport is cruel, and that just proves it right there. So, Verstappen P1 now, Norris P2, Ricciardo, Perez, Leclerc, Tsunoda, the 2 AlphaTauris. Then you've got the 2 Williams cars. So, Noah's Ark here, 2x2, as we now watch on Hamilton make a brilliant move on the outside of Esteban Ocon there. And he's actually got Russell not too far behind, ironically, the 2 guys who actually made contact lap 1. And now we see, well, Schumacher's teammate Perez trying to avenge him in a way as he gets down the inside. The Red Bull is looking so good around this circuit. It's such a shame for Schumacher there, because genuinely, I think now Perez has a chance to go chasing after and, you know, kind of almost making up for what just happened there with Schumacher and going and chasing the race lead and the race win here for Red Bull Racing, because he's got past Ricciardo with ease. Lando is pressurizing Verstappen, but can Perez maybe get both of them in one go, you might ask, because he's looking so quick in this race, and he's right on the back of the McLaren there within 3:10. So let's see, can Lando have a good run? We ride on board with this shoulder shot, and we look ahead to the Silver Arrow, bit of a sitting duck as they all have DRS behind him, and he's going to weave around a little bit to the inside. Norris the long way around the McLaren. Can he do it? No, bit of contact made between Verstappen and Lando. No wonder that was a bit of hefty contact. We've got simulation damage, and Norris is already looking slow. I think Norris has damage, I'm sorry to say, but there's no luck for any of the Brits in today's British Grand Prix, because I'm pretty sure Lando has damage. I can just tell by the way he's going, and Perez is going to make a move maybe into Magnus Beckett's. No, not quite. Oh my god, Ricciardo side by side with Perez in Magnus Beckett's. Ricciardo around the outside. He's trying to do what Verstappen did to Rosberg all those years ago, but no, not quite. But Perez surely will get this now. DRS open. Can he make a move? No, not quite, but Lando's holding on. But let's see if he peels into the pits. I have a worry he will do. Yes, he does. This simulation damage, it's not just something that we have to worry about as a player, it's what the AI have to worry about as well. And so Lando falls victim to that simulation damage, and so Perez up into P2, Ricciardo P3, Leclerc quietly has gone away from the 2 AlphaTauris, and he's not too far away from the top 3, the Ferrari, so he could still be on, maybe, I don't know, for a fight for the podium. Let's see, but after them, you've got 2 AlphaTauris, Tsunoda, Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, Bottas, Sainz, and Button still in P10. Just kind of not really moving around at all, you know. He's just got a despondent kind of, you know, look to him there. Just not going well at Silverstone like he did in real life. But now we've got to fight for the lead. Perez on the outside, easy move really with DRS up into P1, and now he's on to try and get revenge for his fallen teammate Mick Schumacher with a mechanical failure earlier, having got the lead in the exact same move, just without DRS really. Uncanny to be honest, but now Ricciardo is going to try and attack Verstappen. Like I said, Verstappen not looking like he has too much race pace. Ricciardo on the inside, the 2 are side by side. Verstappen again a bit wide. Oh, he's really wide. Verstappen is struggling here in this race. I don't know what it is with the Mercedes car right now. I don't know if Verstappen's cooked his tyres going too quickly on the restart of the safety car, but he was really wide there, and Ricciardo up into P2. Leclerc could now go and attack him potentially, and now we've got Tsunoda, Gasly. They're being chased down by the Williams and Sainz, so the 2 Williams might get onto the heels of the AlphaTauri, but Ricciardo is now chasing after Perez, and lap 22, 4 laps to go. Perez a bit slow through Copse. Ricciardo's got a good run. They're going to be side by side into Maggott and Beckett's. Perez over the curb. Oh, Perez has spun it. He's half spun it, and he's hit Ricciardo. He's got wing damage. He got on the curb, the inside curb of that left-hander before you dart into the right. He got unsettled and half span and used Ricciardo to keep his car going in a straight line. You can see the damage that has been occurred on the right-hand side there. So Perez has to pit. Late drama again in this race. mistakes, just like there was at the Austrian Grand Prix. But Ricciardo is up into the lead of the race with 4 laps to go, and he's now got a sizable gap to Verstappen. Could this be it? Verstappen P2, and Leclerc has now been gifted P3 in this race. Tsunoda, Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, Bottas, Sainz, Perez, and Button the next up, but Perez still going down and down the order as he's made that late pit stop. So Sergio and Lando, both of them not getting any luck today. I mean, there's not been any luck for any British drivers at the British Grand Prix. It really hasn't been a bogey one this season, but this man's had all the luck in the world. To be fair, he's made his own luck. He's had the pace to be there and pick up the pieces, and he made a wonderful move on Perez that Perez could not cope with. And it's going to be the Australian on the other side of the McLaren garage that gets the win today. It's back-to-back wins for McLaren, and it's another different winner in this season. Unbelievable. Another different winner. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Ricciardo on the top step, Verstappen, Leclerc join him. It's been, well, an entertaining race that I've not been a part of here, so a bit of a unique episode for you guys today, as we had a DNF early on with that contact, that fatal contact with Verstappen to take us out of the Grand Prix. Button in P9. It's been a very slow day in the office for the team. Only 2 points to our name. I think we had a good enough cushion there, the constructors, so he still should be fine. But in the Drivers' Championship, well, I would assume Verstappen's looking very good now, because he was P2, so I think he's taken the lead surely of the championship. So for the first time this season, Jenson Button will not lead the driver's standings. It will be Max Verstappen, and Ricciardo is in P2. Even though I don't feel like McLaren have been up there, and they've only just started to come good with back-to-back wins, I didn't know Ricciardo actually, I guess he was picking up consistent points still, and just there or thereabouts, and then 25 points, bang, is enough to get him up into P2 there. Unreal, very surprising. But it's now 4 points between him and Verstappen, the two former Red Bull teammates. Button down to P3, I'm down to P5, 20 points off the top of the championship. So we've got to bounce back real big time next time out of Belgium. It's a day to forget in general for all us home Grand Prix drivers who are British here today. Yeah, just no luck at home. No luck at home this season. Guys, though, if you did enjoy that entertaining race that did not involve me, then hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.